everyone, welcome to Mom's Kitchen, and today I'm going to be making a vegetable soup. I made this last week and it's my own creation, and it's really good right now because there's shortages of meat and things like that, and I'm not really much of a meat eater anyways. I prefer to eat mostly meatless meals, so I'm going to make this for my lunch today. And this is a 2-quart kettle. Last time I made this, I got about 4 servings out of it. So if you're feeding a family, go ahead and double the recipe. So, all right, let's get started. So I'm going to turn my kettle on medium. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of margarine. The margarine has the tablespoons marked right out on it, so I just cut right on the line for 1 tablespoon and put it right in there. And while that is melting, I'm going to cut up, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, 2 mushrooms. So sometimes on these days right now, with all this COVID-19 and all of that, you might just be feeling blah, down. There's not so much going on. I know for me, I'm really, really missing church. You know, when church isn't going, I'm reading my Bible and stuff every day, but I miss that fellowship with my Christian family. So I was thinking today about the fact that the joy of the Lord is our strength. Like, we can have joy even when things aren't going right. Things aren't going right, maybe personally or in the world or whatever. We can still have joy. And that's very important. That's something that, as a Christian, that's easy for us to do. Just concentrate on God, and just the fact that Jesus has died for our sins is plenty of reason to have joy. All right, I got half an onion here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to dice that right up, right into the kettle. If this looks a little bit awkward, it is a little bit awkward. I'm not usually cooking with a tripod and a camera in front of me, so I'm trying to reach around the camera and do this. Hopefully you guys are getting a good view, because I really can't tell if you are or not. So on a lot of these big cooking shows, you see, they always get out cutting board, and they get out this big butcher knife, and they got everything with this butcher knife. But the thing is, I wasn't taught to cook that way. I was taught there's a knife for everything. I like these little parent style knives that I can just cut the stuff right up in my hands, and it's faster. In the end, I don't have this cutting board to wash. Okay, and to that, I have this yellow pepper. Now, it doesn't matter what color your pepper is, if it's, you know, green pepper or whatever. I'm going to add about half of this pepper. And I'm just cutting it like this, away from the core. And, you know, this recipe is adaptable. I know you guys can't find all this different stuff right now, so use what you got on hand. This is going to be a vegetable soup. If you don't have the vegetables I have, use something similar that you have. Oh, and let me say, I washed my hands before I began, and I also washed my produce before I began the video, so I wouldn't have to keep running back and forth to the sink. The only reason why I chose a yellow pepper for this is just to kind of make my soup more colorful. Oh, I made this last week and it was like the best thing to me. I don't know. I've just been in the mood for hot soups lately and things with tomatoes. I'm usually one of these cooks that makes it up as I go along anyways. Okay, I got some pepper here. Go ahead, add a decent amount of that. I don't know, I'm just shaking it in. You can see how long I'm shaking it. I'm not going to add any salt because a lot of the other things that I add to this will be salty. So I've got my wooden spoon. Stir it around. I'm going to just kind of brown this a little bit. At this point, now that I've got everything in that kettle, I'm going to turn this up to about 7 so that it can brown faster. But I didn't turn it up that high at the start because I didn't want things to be getting too brown while I was still cutting up things. Okay, I'll be back once I get this browned. Okay, I'm back and you can see that this has got some nice color right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off just for a minute. Let me move you over here. Okay, I am going to peel this potato. I'll see if I can do this in front of the camera while reaching around the camera. Okay, I start. My father taught me how to peel potatoes, by the way. Some people peel them with carrot peelers, but I don't like to do that because I want to get all these little imperfections out of my potato, and I don't want to be all day doing that. And some people say, well, you take too much off. Now listen, I can take as little or as much off of this potato with this knife as I want. Right here, I could take just a little tiny bit where it's smooth, but I'm going to want to go deeper here. So I will use my knife and get it as deep as I want in the places. Here we go. Start around the edge. See right there? I'm going to just put my knife in a little more. Okay, all the way around that edge. Right there, I want in a little deeper. All right, and then I look, and I got this little imperfection. Get that cut right out. Here, get that cut right out. All right, now I'm going to go right around again, and I'm going to spin this potato, and I'm just going to keep going round and round on this one side. Okay, got this little imperfection, cut it out. This little imperfection, cut it out. Okay, now on this side, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go round and round. Getting deeper in here, see those imperfections? I'm going to come right around. And there we go. Check my potato over, little imperfection there, here. Okay, now I'm going to go rinse it off under the water. All right, let's move you back over. And I will try to get this. Here we go. Sorry about all this motion. I'm not the best camera person, that's for sure. I'll get better as we go, though. I should have shut that off in between. All right, now I'm just going to dice this potato up right into the kettle. I like potato. I'm an Aroostook County girl. It's all about the potato. Codger teases me. He says life didn't start before the potato. All right, so that's in there. I'm going to shut you off just for a minute while I clean up this peel. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So to this, I am going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes. I love this brand of tomatoes. Now, use whatever you've got. If you don't have diced tomatoes and you have whole tomatoes, take them out and cut them up. Same if you have sliced tomatoes, just take them out and dice them. Okay, let me get these open. Okay, I'm going to pour the whole can, juice and all, right in there. I'm going to save this can because when I add my water, I'll add it from this can in order to get, you know, more of the tomatoey juice out. All right, so that's in there. Sorry about all the sniffling here and hoarseness. It's springtime allergies. Okay, I didn't show you what I'm getting ready to add. Let me show you the cover. Minced garlic. It's already minced. Okay, and I'm just going to add maybe half a teaspoon. I don't measure, but about like, all right, there you go. That's it. Now I've got beef bouillon cubes. I'm going to add 2 of those. Now, if you're a vegetarian and you want to keep this a vegetarian soup, go ahead and use vegetable broth or tomato juice. Or if you're not a vegetarian and you don't have the beef bouillons, use chicken bouillons or beef broth or chicken broth. Once again, use what you got. Okay, I'm not adding the extra liquid yet because these vegetables are going to take up space. And I don't know how much space I'm going to have for the liquid yet. Frozen bag of peas and carrots. I'm just putting a few of these in. Maybe 1/3 of a cup. And I've got a frozen bag of chopped spinach and about the same amount of that. And you can see the pot is filling up fast. And of course, as these vegetables cook down, they'll take up less room. But we don't want it boiling over on the stove either. All right. The only thing that is left is just some dried onion soup mix. This one comes from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons. That was just a partial package. And okay, that really gives it great flavor. If you don't have that, use a little bit of dried onion. Okay, now I'm going to add water, and I'm going to remember put it in my tomato can. I turn this rig up on high at this point, add my can of water, and it looks like that 1 can's going to do it for now. Now if this cooks down and cooks out some of the juice, I'll just add more water. I want my kettle about that full when the soup is done. Okay, when this comes to a boil, I'm just going to go ahead and cover it and turn it down to 2 and let it simmer until the potatoes are tender when I check them with a fork. Okay, I'll be back when this boils. Hey, I'm back. It hasn't boiled yet, but I forgot to add something. Oh my goodness. Okay, bay leaves. Add 1 bay leaf. Now when the soup's done, make sure you remove this bay leaf because you don't want to eat it. It'll cut your mouth. These are big ones, and I did use one this big last time. So if yours are smaller, use the equivalent of a big one. That, I think, is what gave it the most flavor of all, and I almost forgot it. I had it laid out, and I was just cleaning up, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't put that in. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. You can see the soup is boiling. I'm going to turn this right down to 2 on an electric stove. Now, if this is a gas stove, turn it all the way down to low. Give the temperature just a couple minutes to adjust before you put the lid on. You don't want it so hot when you put the lid on that it just boils all over the stove. I give it a little stir. Oh, this soup is so good. You guys are going to love this soup. It is just so easy and so good. Okay, that's calmed down now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, and I will be back when the soup is done, and I'll show you what it looks like when potatoes are fork tender. All right, see you then. Okay, I'm back, and here's the soup. And what I mean by fork tender on these potatoes is when you find a potato and you poke it with a fork, see how it's starting to pull apart and it just slides right off the fork? That soup is done. Okay, I'm going to dish some up, and I'll be back to show you what my plate looks like. Okay, that is what my plate looks like. And before I end this video, I want to do a shout out to my grandmother, Nan. And she always taught me that if I am having something like this, vegetable soup that does not have any meat, to put a piece of bread on the side with butter and peanut butter so that I get some protein. And I love it that way. This is just a lunch, so this is how I'll eat it. If it was a supper, I might make some biscuits or something. All right, Nan, I hope you're watching, and I hope you'll make this soup for yourself. I think you'd love it. And I just want to tell everybody, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.